If you fancy lighting some of the buildings up on your model railway, then keep watching and I'll show you how I go about doing it. Hello everyone, welcome back to Chippingford Model Railway. This is Sandy Lane. In today's video, I'm just going to walk you through the process that I go through to light up the buildings on my layout. So I'm trying to explain bits as I go along and give you an idea of how you might go about doing it for yourself. Please remember to like the video if you enjoyed it or found it useful in some way. Support the channel by subscribing and get notified when new videos come out. So on with the video. Before adding the lights, I like to test them to make sure that they work and try and gauge the value of the resistor that I'm going to be using and to avoid any potential problems with them. There we go, that works quite nicely. So that lamp's working, that's good. I've got a 4K resistor in there. That's probably what I'm going to use because that at the moment looks alright, but we will see at night because the luminosity will probably appear bigger, higher, stronger. Cue the music. To install the street lamp, I drill a hole through the card and then widen it a little bit with a file. And then I can pull through the wiring so that it's hidden underneath. Finally, I glue the pavement in place. Then I drill the holes for the railings and I glue them in place, adding a little bit of scatter to cover the holes. So what I've done is I've made all of the fronts on here removable so I can put cars in and out. And so I can take that one off, come out of shot because I've not moved it. Drill my holes for the lights to put these through. And then I was thinking, how am I going to sort the wires out underneath? But what I did when I was building it last year is I didn't glue this top one in.
You thought of it already.
I'd already thought of it.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah, I was just sitting there thinking to myself, like, this is going to be really awkward. I'm just going to have to, like, with tweezers, try and route the wires. But I've thought of that already. So this will actually, with a little bit of gentle persuasion, come out. None of this top bit is properly glued on. The only thing holding it, so that comes out, is the wires for the lights that are already in there. So now, with it like that, I can do the wires. Happy days.
Cool.
I'd totally forgotten, but I remember now. I'm surprised it stayed apart, you know, like together, as we've been moving it from cupboard to cupboard. And I hadn't glued the top on either, and yeah, I'd completely forgotten. So just a dab of super glue on the wires to hold them in place. A little bit of black tack here to hold that one there. So these should feed quite nicely out the back now. Now the wires are glued in place, I can route the wires through the holes at the back so that they're hidden from view. A bit of a tidy up of the wires around the back with some insulation tape. Trim the wires to length. Yes, so the battery died just as I started soldering, so I just cracked on as the soldering iron was hot, and I've just wired up these two wires, the resistors on. What I need now, if I can find it, is the shrink wrap. Here we go, that's what I want. Get the shrink wrap. What do I call it? Shrink wrap. Heat shrink. That's the one. Right, I don't need that much. But I might as well do the whole thing like that. So I'm using red for positive and black for negative. That's my system. And now it's time to solder the rest of the wiring, and I'll explain what I've done at the end. test on the battery. Both lights working. Quick test of the car park lights as well. Should find the battery in here somewhere. And they're working too. Excellent. That's what I like. Okay, that's all good. So now, just a case of tidying up all of this and shrink wrapping. Shrink wrapping. Yeah, it's not shrink wrapping, is it? I know. But I like the sound of that. I used to do a lot of shrink wrapping when I worked in the warehouses many moons ago. Glue the lamp posts in place with some super glue. And then repeat the same process for the street level light. It's the last solder. Last join. I can test it all. Wow. That was like only 2 hours of soldering. Always wash your hands after you've been using solder because it is not a very nice substance. Unplug the soldering iron. There is, allow it to cool down. You don't want to risk a fire either, so just take some precautions. I'm going to go and wash my hands. So just to talk you through what I've done, I drew this out so that I could get my head around what I needed to do. So for my switches, I'll start here, I've soldered a brown wire with a connector for the bus. Then I've taken that brown wire, the right length, and at the end of it, I've put on a resistor, depends which light. So for these, I use 4.7 value, and then that wire then goes into the red wire on the LED. And because I've got two lamps at the top, come over to this bit here, the red wire goes into the lamp and it comes out on a black wire. And then I've soldered a bit of red wire to the second lamp, and then this is your return, common return. So it comes back to my bus wire down here, and that's how I've done it. I'll show you what that looks like on the building so you can see it in well, it doesn't look quite as neat as that, but it works. So I've used two different systems here because I wanted the lights on the roof to have a switch so that I could turn them off during the day, because obviously it's open and you don't need lighting on when it's daylight. So what I did here was there is a feed from the positive wire on the accessory bus, goes into a switch, and then comes out of the switch all along the baseboard and into the building. There, connects to a resistor here, and then that goes to the first street lamp, and then on the negative wire for the street lamp it comes out, and I've linked it with a red wire to the other positive input on the street lamp, and then it comes out. Here's your common return all the way down back to the bus wire. For the lights on the inside, because it's relatively enclosed, I wanted these to be on all of the time. So what I did with those was I just took a feed from the positive on the bus, no switch, put a resistor on the end of this one, and then each of the levels has 3 LEDs in series. And that is fed just by this one wire, and they all then come out the back here and go back to the common return or the negative on the bus, and that way they're always on. So there you go. The street lamp on the front is exactly the same as this one for the top lights. So on the street level, it doesn't need to be on all the time, so it needs an on-off switch. And there you go. So I'm just going to show you that under the baseboard so that you can see how I've done it. So now comes the tricky part. So there is actually a gap here that I can feed wires through. It's an accidentally deliberate gap. Okay, so just need to maneuver the switch so that I can reach that from underneath, and I'll come and show you what I'm doing. So let me just explain what happens under the baseboard. So this is what I use to power my accessory bus. It's just a really old controller. In fact, it's the first controller I ever bought when I was about 11, 12 years old. So that is powered from the mains, and then it has 2 wires coming out the back of it that usually for the track feed. So they go into the red and black wire. So that is for what I use for my lighting, and that wire runs all the way down the end to there, and then it just ends, and it runs all the way along the front of the baseboard. It comes round the back end here, and then it goes all the way down the back of the baseboard right to the end. So what I've got here is the feed from the indoor lights, the lights inside the car park, and that needs to connect to the positive wire. So positive red to positive red. So that will go in there. I can't do this one-handed because you just do need a little bit of force to push those in. I can have a go. No, I don't think I can. Right. And then I have the other end of that, which is this one. And that will just go into the negative wire or the common return. See, I can push that in if, there we go. Don't take that much force. So maybe I can get that one in as well. There we go, that's in. So that will mean that every time I switch this on, these lights will come on inside the car park. And that's fine because they should be on all day long and all night long. Then what I have is the negative feed for the lights on the roof. And that's cool because I can just plug them in here. So that's the common return for the accessory bus, and this one don't want to go in. Maybe I need to turn it the other way around. Oh, there we go, that's in. So there we go, that's wired in now. All we've got left to do is to see if I can, in a untangled fashion, pull the switch through. Easier said than done. These wires love to catch on each other and twist and tangle. There we go, it's come through. So on this brown wire, and that one I'm going to have to route down the back here, along with this one, which is the street level lamppost, because I've decided for whatever reason that my lighting panel is going to be over that end. So I'll just do that. It's a good idea to untangle it first so that when I feed it through there aren't any knots. A little bit of a climbing technique there is that you always straighten out your rope before you use it so that you don't end up with the rope jamming. Same principle with wires, except for it's less life critical in that respect. That's not pretty, is it? Right, so I've routed the switch to this end. There we go. And then I'll clip it in to the positive wire of the accessory bus here. So the switch, which is dangling at the moment, will go, there will be a feed from the positive bus wire here to the switch, and that will give it power. And then from that switch, that really long brown wire goes all the way across there, all the way across the underneath the baseboard and into the lights at the top here. And then it goes to the next one, round the back into the negative bus, and you've got your circuit. So there we go. I've got a drunken tripod now. So my positive will go in there. So when I switch the power on there and the power on there, you should see, I'll put this down now. You should see the lights come on. There you go, there's the internal lights. And if I flick the switch now, That's the roof lights. There we go. Working. And the street lamp is also on. It's daytime now, so we can turn all of that light off, and we turn the roof lights off. Right, so it wasn't really a good time to test out the lighting in full daylight, so I've left it until much later in the day, you know, it's the evening now, to test these out and show you that they work. So if I turn the controller on, there we go, they come on. And then if I want to turn the lights on the roof on, I just flip that switch. There we go, and they come on. And then if I want the street lamp on as well, flick that on. There we go, it's all working. So we have full night mode there, and we have turn that off and that off. We have daytime mode. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and if you've got any questions, please pop them in the comments below. Remember to like if you've enjoyed it, and subscribe if you want to see some more videos. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.